Padres outscored the Reds in the ninth inning 1-0. They outhit the Reds in the ninth inning 1-0. The other 8 innings were the issues tonight for the Padres. No hit by Nick Martinez through 8. Padres fall in Cincinnati 8-1. Insult to injury, a 3-homer game for the Reds here today as well. Whoever the hell that was. Who was that? Steer?
Spencer
Steer.
Spencer Steer.
All right. We'll react to it all. John and Jim with you on the wrap-up show. A very disappointing start to a 6-game road trip through Cincinnati and Philadelphia. Make your way in and subscribe. We have year-round content for you, so make your way in and subscribe. Smash the like button for us. Follow us on X, and we appreciate your support of the channel on this Friday evening. If you want to support, if you want to see your comment on screen, if you want to control the direction of the conversation, click the $ below the chat box. If you want to become a member, click the join button down below. Doesn't get much worse than that. Nick Martinez, who pitched 2 years for the Padres, absolutely shoving in the midst of a very average year. Dylan Cease, who's supposedly an ace, looking mid once again. Padres offense lifeless once again. We'll get into that. They battled in the ninth and lose 8-1. Elias Diaz breaks up a no-hitter in the ninth inning after a Trenton Brooks walk to start the frame. Other than that, I mean, just an absolute disaster for the Padres in Cincinnati as they lose 8-1.
It looked like a team tonight that was still on their off day. Like, a lot of bad at-bats, a lot of quick at-bats, no command from Cease, leaving his pitches up. You know, Yuki Matsui comes in, he immediately gets rocked. You know, thank God for Elias Diaz in the ninth, or this is a completely different show tonight. Well, it's kind of the same show, but the feeling's worse. You know, this is a bad feeling. It feels like they got no hit, but they didn't. So it's not going to like go down in the history books and whatnot. But yeah, just a really piss poor effort tonight by the Padres. Just kind of exemplifying the fact that you know, their offense is a lot of just averageness. Like, it's just not a good offense at all. And you know, Kevin asked the question post game about the top 4 in the lineup, and we've talked a lot about this, that those are the most important pieces of this lineup. Yes, they need another right-handed bat. Yes, the catching position sucks offensively. Yes, they have this giant black hole in left field. Yes, they have essentially no bench to work with. But none of that matters if the top 4 aren't doing anything. I mean, if the top 4 aren't producing, it doesn't matter at all. And the top 4 have not been producing at a consistent level to carry the way here. And I know Schilt laughed it off, but I mean, it's a valid question, Mike. Like, the team is dependent on those 4 guys, and if those 4 guys don't produce, you're going to be in some big trouble, dude.
Yeah, believe it or not, in this no-hitter through 8, the Padres' top 4 did not have a hit, believe it or not, in this game. And in this one-hitter where Elias Diaz had the only hit, believe it or not, the top 4 did not have a hit, which actually brings me to something, Jim. And it's Manny Machado. Was he 0 for 4, Jim, in this game? Or was he 0 for 3?
So are we going the Manny route tonight now? It's going Manny.
What's that?
We're going down the Manny route tonight?
Well, I'm just going to give you a fact, okay? I mean, I'm a stat-oriented guy, as you know.
Yeah.
I'm just going to give you a fact. No, I'm not going to spend. He went 0 for 3. He is 2 for his last 22. So just FYI, Manny, who hasn't really gone through that more than maybe one other time this year, is now 2 for his last 22. Now, they were 4-1 in the prior 5 games. He was 2 for 19 in those 5 games. The team was 4-1. They weren't scoring. We mentioned it today. But let me back that up with something else that Kevin wrote post-game. This is what the Padres have done over the last 39 games. They've hit 227. They've been held to 0 or 1 runs 11 times in those 39 games. They averaged 3.6 runs per game in those 39, 6th worst in the majors. Just proves the point. I mean, it's not just us saying it. It's not my opinion that the Padres' offense is scuffling. It's a factual statement. It just proves that point. Their offense is really going through it. I don't think they get saved by a right-handed bat. I think they get saved by Merrill, Machado, Tatis, Arise, to your point. So they either do it or they don't. I mean, halfway point, I don't know. I can't believe they're 7 games over 500. Truthfully, they were 14-3, and that's been their whole season, because since then they've played very average baseball, 30-34, and they're kind of fortunate to be where they are, in my opinion, watching every game.
I agree. The offense has been the biggest issue with this team. I think if they were just a middle of the pack offense this year, if they were like 12th, 13th, 14th in offense, they would. I mean, how many wins do you add to that, John? 3, 4?
I mean, a couple is massive.
Maybe
even 3 is massive.
Yeah, 3 games there. You're change the perception of everything. Yeah, Manny's 2 for his last 22. You know, again, I don't want to go down this path, but I'll just say it. You know, Manny's having a really good season. Would you agree?
He's had a very good year completely.
Okay. Would you consider it a great season?
No, I would not consider it a great season if you looked at the totality of his year. I would consider it a very good, somewhere between a good and very good season.
Okay. He leads the team in a lot of offensive categories, right?
Yeah. I don't know what they are currently, but maybe hits, maybe homers. I don't know. He's had a good year.
Yeah. My point is, like, when you look at the numbers, okay, just the numbers alone, and you compare it to the rest of just the National League, you know, he's around. These are the players that Manny Machado's around as far as like seasons go. Okay. Matt Olson, Max Muncy, CJ Abrams, Seiya Suzuki,
right?
Andy Pajes.
You're saying like statistical years that he's produced?
Helio Ramos, like,
right.
If the players I just named, Manny's in that bunch. Like, those are the players that are having all similar seasons to Manny Machado. So I think
they're good players.
They're good players, right?
Historically good.
But we're sitting here and we're like, Manny's having a fantastic year. The players I just named, that's the group he's in. He's not in the group with Shohei and you know, let me look here. Just in the National League alone. He's not in the conversation with Pete Alonso, James Wood, Corbin Carroll,
Soto, 11 home run month.
Yeah, Kyle Tucker, Kyle Schwarber, Freddie Freeman, Ellie De La Cruz, Will Smith, like Pete Crow Armstrong. You know, Manny's had a really good season. He's not in that class though. He's in the next class down. And that's not like saying that Manny stinks. I just maybe pulling everybody back to like a little bit of reality here is that even with how good Manny Machado's season is, like, you know, maybe you need more. And that's not fair to ask because he's done a lot, right? But just everything around this team, you know, maybe you have to have more. I don't know. But again, it's because Tatis and Merrill and Arise, they aren't carrying their weight. So now it falls on Manny's shoulders, and it's not fair to Manny because Manny's been doing a lot of the carrying and lifting this year, and the pieces around Manny Machado aren't pulling their weight like he has, and so things are more magnified. Yeah.
Okay, let me pull this up. First of all, there's DM310. Do not ban him yet. Who's being a fool, but don't ban him yet. I want to see the reaction.
I won't ban him.
And then there's Dr. No, who says, Jim, you need to check yourself, guy. Anytime. By the way, if you're here, subscribe. You're on content for Padres fans, and thank you for the supers. Click the $ below the chat box. He says, anytime these MFers lose, here you come with the Manny didn't step up BS. How many of these names give you elite D and offense? Dude, here's the thing. I mean, I'll pull up his Baseball Savant page and put it on the screen. His defense hasn't been good this year. I mean, I think it's been fine. But Manny, you know, I think some of it is based a little bit on reputation. And you see some of these flashy plays. Make no mistake. I mean, Manny Machado has been an excellent defensive player in his career. But, like, I'm looking at his fielding right now, Jim. Okay? And you can look this up, Doctor, now. Just go to Baseball Savant, type in Manny Machado or Google it. His range is the 16th percentile in baseball. That's awful, right? 84% of fielders have better range. And his arm strength is 64th percentile, which means 36% of fielders have better range. So, and by the way, just look at the errors. And I know errors is a lazy defensive stat. I recognize it, but you can't completely discount it. So I've given him the benefit of the doubt for his entire career. He's not winning Gold Gloves every year. We say he's a great defender historically. He hasn't been that player. I mean, I'm telling you. He makes good plays. He does things other players don't do. But elite is a strong word. We got to be honest. elite for Manny Machado defensively today, I think is going over the top.
Mm-hmm. And fine. Okay. There's my Manny take. Let's go down the list here. Fernando Tatis Jr. We're all like, man, he's one of the best players in baseball. He's having a great season. He is bunched up with guys like Christian Yelich, Brendan Donovan, Teoscar Hernandez, Jordan Beck, Matt Chapman. All right. I mean, okay.
Is Toddy, you said?
Yeah, Tatis, right? Like that's who he's he's in that group. All right. So I think again, we talked about this on John and Jim today. There's a lot of expectation for guys like Tatis and Manny to be like MVP players, right?
Mm-hmm.
They aren't that. They aren't that. They're not. They're really good
players.
all-stars. They're good. They're really good all-star players. But Fernando Tatis Jr. is not a 960 OPS guy anymore. Manny Machado in his career, look it up. Dude's like a 820, 830 career OPS guy. He's never going to be a 900 OPS dude.
Right. Never hitting 40 home runs.
Never. He's
never been who he was.
He's as consistent as they get, right? He'll hit 30 bombs, 90 RBIs, 290, 830, 820 OPS. Right?
Yep. He's been, I mean, he's been a very productive. Yeah. I mean, you and I agree. Listen, I think sometimes I think the criticism is warranted, don't you guys? I mean, you go to Cincinnati, you start this 8-game trip. Nobody said their season's over, but like we're trying to understand why this isn't an elite offense. I mean, Jurickson Profar is no longer here. Their catching situation is nothing like it was a year ago. Tatis has performed well, but only for a month. Merrill's missed 40 games this year. Like when you start adding up, Luis Ariz doesn't have the same batting average he had a year ago. Like you start, their 5 through 9 isn't what it was a year ago. Gavin Sheets has been really good. By and large, I just think it's fair to address. Nobody's saying they can't win tomorrow. Nobody's saying they can't win 2 out of 3 in Philadelphia. You know, it's just it starts piling up. I mean, they're 30 and 34 in their last 64 games. Are we supposed to pom this thing up and be like, trust me, they're making the World Series? I mean, you got to be honest. It's possible they need. And by the way, we haven't even talked about Dylan Cease, who's nothing like the pitcher he was in 2024 or 2022. We touched on that today on John and Jim. I mean, can he salvage his year? Yeah, there's time, but that time will run out, especially for a starter who appears every 5th or 6th day. So I think we're just recognizing what's in front of our eyes, which is a very flawed team that has survived based on an incredible start. Everyone recognized their start was historically good. 14-3 was unbelievable. And that's basically their year. So can they survive the entire year off a 14-3 start? I would say no. Based on everything I'm watching, they're going to need to find a way to be the team we saw earlier, or it's not going to end the way people want to see it end. It's just, that's my 2 cents on it.
Here's the biggest difference between last year's offense and this year's offense. Last year's offense, let's count it out. Players who exceeded expectations, outperformed expectations, and had career years.
Okay.
Jurickson Profar.
100%.
Jackson Merrill as
100%.
a rookie. Kyle Higashioka.
Absolutely.
Who else?
How about Donovan Solano and these type players?
Donovan Solano. Peralta, maybe?
Peralta. David Peralta.
David Peralta. Am I missing anybody?
I mean, Luis Ariz produced to a very high level.
He did win a batting title, but it's not, I wouldn't consider it like a breakout season. But here's the thing. Even just 3 guys that I named, Profar, Merrill, Higashioka, 3 dudes having career years. How many players in the Padres lineup right now are having career years? Do you want to go Gavin Sheets?
Gavin Sheets.
I'll give you Gavin Sheets.
Yeah, definitely Gavin Sheets.
That's it. It's much different when you have 3 guys in a lineup having career years sprinkled throughout than just one. And look, Gavin Sheets has had a fantastic season for his standards, but like, you know, Profar and Higgy and Jackson Merrill last year, 2 of them were all-stars, and Higashioka, you know, he put together like a season that you would take in a second for a catcher offensively. They don't have that in this lineup. You know, Manny this year has been consistent. He has put his averages out there. Fernando Tatis Jr., down. Luis Ariz, down. Jackson Merrill, down. Their catching position, way down from what they got last year. Left field, way down from what they got last year. Their bench pieces, way down from what they got last year. So it's not like hard to see why this team is struggling on offense compared to what they did last year. Last year they had length up and down the lineup. This year they don't. And they're so dependent on their top four, and the top four have not clicked like you wanted to see them click this year.
Like, let me just quickly do this at Baseball Reference. So Tatis was like humming along through April, like an MVP type player. And from that moment, trying to do the Baseball Reference, and I don't have tonight's game where he went, 0 for 3 or 0 for 4?
He went 0 for. They all went 0 for.
Yeah, they other than Diaz, you're right. I just don't know.
There's no looking at the lineup tonight. They all went 0 for the box score.
So, okay. Hear me out, guys. Hear me out. Let me just confirm if it was 0 for 3 or 0 for 4. So Toddy's 0 for 3, right? Mm-hmm. So just hear me out. Let me whip out the calculator. That's all I'm going to whip out right now.
Pause.
Tatis, since the first day of May, which is 50 games, in 50 games, is 39 for 218. No, that's not right. He's 39 for 189.
I was going to say, holy shit.
No, he's hitting 206, folks. He's hitting 206 in his last 50 games. And by the way, it's not me that decides how to vote. Would you prefer to have Ellie De La Cruz or Fernando Tatis Jr.? We put it up and you get 100 votes and 65% of the people say De La Cruz. So he's got to perform. I love Fernando Tatis Jr. I've said it so many times. He's one of my favorite players ever in any sport. But this isn't what we signed up for. We asked for more than this. Maybe the expectations were high to start the year. Okay, fair. 50 home runs is high expectations, or 40 home runs is high expectations. But everyone should have higher standards than 206 for 50 games for Fernando Tatis Jr., including himself, and he does. But, how do you overcome that? He's hit 206 for 50 games. That's as plain as day. I don't know what else to say. I'm not the hitting coach. I'm not Fernando Tatis Jr. I know he can play better than that. I saw it last September and October, and I saw it this April. But can he do it for 162 games? He's going to have to prove that. Because I've never seen it over 162. He's never been healthy for 162, and he's never performed over the course of an entire season. So, the facts are facts. The numbers can hurt, but they're accurate. They're truthful.
Yeah, and another fact is, at this moment in time, he's not one of the best players in baseball. He's not. He's not an elite player. He's a really good player, but they're paying him to be an elite player, and with the amount of holes they have on this team, they need him to be an elite player. Like he's nowhere close to that right now. He's in the, good to very good class, but
who is
Tatis?
Toddy?
But
he's not playing like it.
If I'm looking at, hold on here. If I'm just looking at outfield right now, all right, in all of baseball. Okay. Is Tatis just looking at like pure stats wise right now, just stats alone, he's like what, the 10th best outfielder in baseball?
I'd have to see a full list. Whatever the numbers say he is who he is.
Sorry, this is in the National League. My bad.
But yeah, majors. I would say that seems high.
Okay, in the majors, just stats alone, guys, I got him as like the 16th best outfielder in baseball.
Is that like OPS or WAR?
No, it's based on his OPS.
Gotcha.
So
he's got the 16th best OPS among outfielders in the majors.
Yeah, and don't get this twisted. I'm not talking about his defense and his athleticism and
No, he's got all that.
I'm just talking about pure stats alone. Stats alone in all of baseball, right? This guy was viewed as a top 5 player in the sport, regardless of position. And now in baseball, he's like the 16th best outfielder in the sport. Like,
again, it's like, I feel like it's fair. Nobody's saying the season's over. We're just saying go play better. That's what I'm saying.
And then if you want to be, kind of even more harsh and real here, like if you want to look at all of baseball, he's like the 28th, 29th best player in the sport.
In OPS?
In OPS of people that are qualified?
Not good enough. Simple as that.
It's a, hey, you're a really good player, but you are an elite. and that's what everyone's hoping and expecting out of you. So,
all right, let's get to the first super of the night. Guys, if you are here, please subscribe. You're on content for Padres fans. About 500 people here live. So there's a lot of, listen, I understand the frustration. We deal with it each and every day. I mean, we have to talk about it as much as anyone. So we get it. You're here. The season is far from over. They're at the halfway point. They're 7 games over 500. You double this? I don't know if that's enough. It's 88 wins. They could absolutely be on the outside looking in with 88 wins. So subscribe, and thank you for the super chats. Click the $ below the chat box. Like the sandwich with the first super of the night. He says, red button long overdue. Like, just punt. Christian Villanueva and Frenchie Cordero would carry the squad to the promised land. No, they wouldn't. And that's not really the point. The point is this. On paper, there are some pieces that should be carrying them. Now it's like go out and do it in real life. The point is, Tatis, it's not just Tatis. It's not. Merrill's missed a lot of time. He's had a fine year, but he's missed a lot of time. Arise has had better career numbers than what he's done this year. You can't ask Manny to do everything. He can't go 7 for every 20, right? He's going to have stretches where he's 2 for 22. Completely reasonable. Completely reasonable.
Yeah.
It's going to happen. You're going to have to pick him up. Gavin Sheets isn't going to hit whatever he's hit all year long. You can't ask him to be that hitter all year long. And that 6 through 9 is just leaving a lot to be desired. You got an injured Xander Bogaerts potentially you're dealing with right now as well. So, I don't know what to say other than they're capable of performing better than they've performed over these 40 games. Don't we all recognize that? They're hitting 220 something as a team over the last 39 games. They're capable of doing better than that. So go do it.
It's not good enough. It's just simply not good enough. The offense, the production they're getting, it's not good enough. And while Schilt will parade to the media how everything is fine and how much faith he has and not worried at all, actions speak louder than words, and changing the lineup 4 times in a week or 3 times in a week, whatever it is, tells you they're trying everything they possibly can because they see the numbers and they know what's happening in real time with this offense, and they're trying everything they can to jumpstart it. Mm-hmm. So again, actions speak much louder than words. Changing up the lineup as drastically as they changed it up over the last week tells you they know this offense and what they're doing right now is not working. Not working. Schilt can say whatever he wants post-game. I look at the lineup card. I see how much you've changed it over the last week. You're trying everything you possibly can to get this thing going.
And clearly, what we've been watching over the last week, including tonight, tonight is like, really? No hits against Nick Martinez. We had John Sadak, the TV voice of the Reds, on a few hours ago. And he said like 2 Thursdays ago, he was absolutely rocked by the Minnesota Twins. They moved him to the bullpen. Yes. And from that moment on, he's been much more effective. Obviously, if you include tonight, he's been incredible since that moment. But Nick Martinez has now put together some really solid year. In fact, his other years in San Diego and his first year in Cincinnati was a lot better than his 2025. Chucky D, thank you, man, for the super chat. Thank you guys for hanging out. Please subscribe and thank you for the supers. Click the $ below the chat box. He says last year's team 1st in average, 7th in slugging. This year's is 13th in average. 23rd in slug. Good news, 5 of 9 in lineup, and 2 injured starters are all back next year. I'm not worried about next year right now. I'm not worried about next year. We're talking about like Musgrove
and Darvish.
Who's the other? I was going to say, hopefully Darvish is back this year. But that proves the point. Offensively, it's hard to compare last year's team to this year's team.
Yeah, it's like night and day. There's nothing really comparable about this year's team to last year's team offensively. The names are there, but nothing's comparable. They can't hit home runs. They can't slug. They don't hit for average, clearly. They don't put up the big innings consistently. They don't, move the line. They go down very quietly sometimes. How many times I would actually, I can't do it right now, but I would love to go see over just like the last 2 weeks, how many times they've scored in the first inning this year, or the first inning the last 2 weeks.
It's a good question. It's so hard to remember. You know what I mean?
I remember the tweet from Dennis Lynn. I was like, this is the first time since the 21-0 game that they scored in the first inning.
That was like yesterday.
No, I actually, you know what? I'm going to do this right now real quick. All right. Hold on.
Do not click on every box score and figure that out.
Yeah, I won't do that.
Was that your idea? That's an awful idea.
I'm just going to quickly click it.
No. We all recognize it. You're right. I mean, they're not scoring. So they must not be scoring the first inning because they're not scoring.
And I'm not talking like one run in the first. I'm talking like, hey, can you put up a 4 spot?
That hasn't happened, man.
I know. And it's like, every time through the lineup, you're just waiting for the top 4 to get up. Well, guess what? The first inning, they're up right away. So like,
right.
Why can't these 4 guys at the top of the lineup put some things together and really cause some damage? Now, I will say, yes, it is an issue when the 4 guys in the lineup say, who's leading off? Arise. Say Arise gets a double, and then Jackson Merrill, he gets a single, but Arise doesn't score. Soft single, runs a first and third, no outs. Manny hits a little blooper, so it's 1-0. Tatis hits another soft single, bases loaded, and then Gavin Sheets grounds out to the shortstop, double play at home to first. And then, Xander grounds out. You scored 1 run, but your top 4 all did something good.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, I get it, but they're going to need more.
By the way, we should also talk about the fact that not only did they not hit, in the first inning, they have 2 defensive miscues. So, like, are, to your point, like you're sleepwalking through. You're treating it almost like it felt like an off day. Tatis overruns a ball and right. Inexcusable. Leads to a direct run. Directly leads to the second run scoring. The pass ball, inexcusable. Leads to the second run scoring. So it wasn't like, man, they played perfect defense and Dylan Cease kept them in. It was 1-0 to the 9th. They just couldn't scratch across a run. No, Dylan Cease struck out 8, but other than that, Mrs. Lincoln, how was the play? He allowed 2 home runs and 4 runs in 4 innings and threw like 90 pitches in 4 innings. There's just way too many. Tonight, there was a complete game shutout by Sonny Gray. He threw 89 pitches.
Yeah,
and tonight, Dylan Cease is throwing 89 pitches in 4 innings. So, like, it's everywhere. It's not just the offense. So let's be clear. I feel like we're putting a lot of the focus on the offense. Kevin makes this point a lot. Kevin Acey, our Padres insider, like, is it the offense or is it the pitching? Does the offense make the pitching, have to be more? You basically are asking for the pitching and the bullpen to be perfect. And it's all tied together, man. It's like if you have a knee injury and then you start compensating and all of a sudden your hip hurts. It's like all of this is completely tied together. And until they fix it all, something's popping up. Like Dylan Cease can be good. Guess what? If your offense sucks, it doesn't matter. The offense can be good, but if Dylan Cease isn't good, it doesn't matter. Like they're all tied directly to each other.
All right, let's talk about Dylan Cease.
Let's do it after we talk about Mark Nimitz.
Okay.
At Farmers Insurance, our title sponsor, guys, if you are here, please support our title sponsor at Farmers, Mark Nimitz. He's been with us for 4 years on the channel. So if you support the channel, please support Mark. We've got insurance policies with Mark. I've got homeowners and life and earthquake. He will take care of you. Before you renew your policy, get in contact with Mark. If you ever need him, he's got great service and communication. Trust me, I've needed him a lot. And he will be there for you. He's a diehard Padres fan, a lifelong San Diegan. And if you're looking for free quotes online, click the link in the description down below. He does auto, by the way. If you need auto insurance, let Mark take care of you. You can call him and talk to him about the Padres, and he'll save you money on your insurance as well. So if you support this channel, please support our title sponsor on the wrap-up show, Mark Nimitz at Farmers Insurance.
Yeah, all his information is on that ticker below. mnimitz at farmersagent.com. When you reach out to Mark, let him know that John and Jim from the wrap-up show sent you.
Floor is yours.
Well, I don't have this like grandiose take on Dylan Cease because it's pretty blatant, right? I mean, this guy has been, for his standards, he's been bad this year. He's been bad. He's got to put stretches of outings together consecutively where he pitches well, and he has not done that this year. Looking at his game log, John, all right, how many times has he allowed 0 or fewer runs this season in a game? Do you want to take a guess?
It's either 1 or 0, right? Didn't he do it once against the Dodgers?
It was once, and yes, it was against the Dodgers in the 11-1 victory. All right.
Yep.
And then after that, he proceeded to go 5 innings, give up 6 runs. First, the Dodgers at Dodger Stadium. Kansas City, he was very good. 6 2/3, 1 earned run, 3 hits. Tonight, 4 innings, 5 hits, 4 runs, 3 of them were earned. The month alone of June, he's got a 4.23 ERA. He's just not as consistent as he was last year from a standpoint of if I'm looking at his game logs from last year. April he had a 2.61 ERA. July, he had a 2.35 ERA. And then September, he had a 2.97 ERA. And he put together 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 outings last year of no runs. So he put up
He's
9.
done it once this year.
He's only done it once this year. And then if you're looking at 1 run or fewer, well, I guess just, or 2 runs or fewer, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 outings of 2 runs or less.
This year?
No, last year.
He had 9 outings of 2 runs or less, but he had 9 scoreless outings, didn't he?
Well, what was it? Let me just hold on. My bad.
That doesn't make sense.
Hold on. Let's hear 2 runs or less this last year. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18 outings last year of 2 runs or less.
And how many this year?
This year, he's had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8, 9.
It's actually half as many as 18, and he's at the halfway point. So that's actually surprising to me that he's
But
had
his
9.
blowups have been bad.
Yeah, that's the point. It proves that point. That's exactly right. Listen, it's being mentioned in the chat as well. I mean, the pitcher they're facing tomorrow, Andrew Abbott, the lefty, has a 1.7 ERA.
Good luck.
So, like, if you thought you could, we'll wake up tomorrow, day 1 of a road trip. Shoot, the last 2 series, the Padres dropped game 1, won the next 2 against Kansas City.
I can't count, by the way.
It's now part of the show. All right. Well, I'll pull this super up. Thank you, Iron Lung. He says, you guys are talking about the Padres suck, but so do the Braves. Go Braves. So Braves fan. Yeah, they've really struggled. They're still 6 or 7 games under 500. The Padres don't suck, by the way. That's not the point that is trying to be made here. The Padres do not suck. I'd be surprised if we said at the end of the year the Padres suck. I think they're clearly going to win 80-something games with an outside shot to probably win 90-something games. But so they don't suck. It's just, is it going to be enough to reach the expectations that the team has for itself and the fan base has for its team, right? You have to make the postseason. That's not going to be easy. It's far from impossible, but they're going to have to play well. And then even in reaching the postseason, will they have enough to, contend in the National League? So it's easy to be skeptical of all that, but the Padres do not suck, although at times this year their offense has certainly been very mid, and that's probably putting it pretty lightly.
And on the bright side, the last 2 series, the Padres lost the first game of those series, and they came back and they, won the next 2, and they won the series. So hopefully that happens here, but it's not going to be easy because, the Reds are a good baseball team. I don't envision them at the trade deadline, if they continue to play like this, to be like, oh, we're going to be sellers. Like, oh, Nick Martinez, that's a guy you can go. No, if the Reds are going to play like this, you really think they're going to be sellers and trade away guys like Nick Martinez, a do-it-everything guy? Like, no, not happening.
No, and you look up, and I've made this point a lot over the years. I don't even know what the division means, other than it would be nice to win something because it's professional sports. It would be nice to win a division, but at the end of the day, I get you don't have to. I mean, are we writing off the division tonight?
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Like, okay, which is fine. You can win a World Series
about the division, dude. I'm even thinking about the division.
I mean, there's 7 games out in the division, which is a big number at the halfway point. I mean, that's pacing to be 14 plus games out, which is a big number. And it's not like LA's had some historically good half. They've been good, but it has not been a historically good half.
Look, they're going to have to.
They're going to have to do it via the wild card, obviously.
Well, they're going to have to. If they want us to talk about the division, they're going to have to go out and prove it, and they haven't. The Dodgers have their number. They are not a consistent baseball team. Offensively, they've been awful the last 50 games. You got 2 guys on your team in Xander and Toddy, who offensively the last 2 months have been awful. And, we're relying on a second-year guy in Jackson Merrill to, like, hey, can you be better than you were last year? And you're rookie, it's
right.
just,
and you can't have you can't have Machado do it all. Again, like he can't be that. He's not going to put up the Aaron Judge year. So you're going to have to help. And he has had a good year. I think we all agree it's been a very good year for Manny Machado. But I mean, he's not going to hit, 330, and he's not going to hit 39 home runs. So you're going to need some help around. Manny Machado cannot do it all himself, even though when Manny plays well, typically the team plays well. But you're putting way too much pressure on Manny Machado.
Yeah, and to ask Manny Machado to do it all himself, he's not Shohei Ohtani. He's not an elite offensive player. He's a really, really good offensive player, but he's not an elite offensive player, even though it has been proven that, as Manny goes, the team goes. But like, you do need a little bit of help.
Yeah. I mean, it is completely as simple as that. I don't think, truthfully, this road trip will define. They got to find a way to hopefully go 3-3 on this trip.
3-3.
We talked about it. I mean, that's 3-2 from here on out. It's possible. And then they get home for 10. And, if you win 6 of those games, I mean, you'd feel decent about where the Padres are. And the trade deadline would be coming pretty quickly on the other side of that after the All-Star break. And I mean, if nothing else, AJ Preller will try. John Souther will try. If it'll be successful or not, we'll all find out together. But they're not just going to be like, I mean, if they're 10 games over 500, they're going to try to improve this team. Simple as that. If they're capable of doing that, we'll find out. But if nothing else, AJ Preller is going to try. If it's going to work, we'll see. But he's going to try. They're not just going to leave this team out in the deep end to drown if they're 10 games over 500. Now, if they come back to earth they're already on earth, but if they continue to come back over this next month, there becomes a question about how much are you really buying? And I think that's a fair question. I don't think they're selling, but how much are you buying if this poor play continues for the next 3 or 4 weeks? I think that's a fair question to have, but I think ultimately they're going to find themselves 8, 9, 10, 11 games up on 500, and they're going to try to add the things that we've talked about: catcher, left field, depth, and see what happens.
I hope so. It's just nights like tonight make you really question, can this team put it together? Can they find a way to get hot at some point again? Do they have the pieces necessary to make a run that they want and hope to make? That's what tonight does. It makes you question a lot of those things, because you see this tonight, and it's not just a one-off, by the way. It's not like, hey, this team has won 7 out of their last 10 games, and the offense has been clicking. They've been scoring 5.5 runs a game, and tonight was just a clunker. Nick Martinez he had it tonight, right? No, this has been what essentially they have looked like for the betterment of 50 games. And maybe even more, maybe.
Yeah, I think 64, truthfully. I mean, 30 and 34.
Yeah.
In their last 64. So, that is what it is. It's not the worst thing in the world. Over the course of, you made this point today, and I agree with you, a lot of teams have gone 30 and 30 over a 60-game stretch and played in the World Series.
For sure.
They're kind of starting to test the theory a little bit because they're falling under 500 over a longer period of time. But I've seen teams play under 500 for a bulk of a year and win a World Series, like the Washington Nationals. So it's not unprecedented. It's happened in recent times. A lot of teams make the playoffs, but it does feel like it's time to pick it up a notch. Because, Kevin made this point. If they continue to play this, this baseball they played over the last 30 or 40 games, they will be back at 500 sooner rather than later.
Right.
So,
let me ask you this question. What's his team's identity?
The 2025 Padres identity would be their ability to hold small leads and rely on their bullpen. Their bullpen's been good. They're 17 or 18 and 12 in 1-run games. They've been good in 1-run games. If you get in a close game with the Padres, they have a decent shot to beat you. 60-65% of the time, that's usually the mark of a good team. They have won close games. That's what I would say.
Yeah.
If I was saying the positive. If I was saying the positive.
Yeah, I was looking for whatever you wanted to throw out there, but I think that's right. I think it's a team that can hold close leads.
Yeah.
They have a really good bullpen. Like their A
Yep.
team is really good. Morahone,
Yeah, Moreland's been amazing.
Estrada, Adams, Suarez, like
Good.
really good. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Last year's team had the identity of comebacks. Offensively, they Jerks and Profar, like the depth, like I know Schulte uses the word grit squad a lot. Like grit squad was last year's team. And it's carried over a little bit this year, but last year's team was scrappy as hell, and they put up a lot. I remember at one point, I think I remember specifically, I was out doing stuff for our wedding, and this had to have been in May, and I was listening to the game on the radio, and they scored like 4 runs in an inning, and I remember your tweet. It was like, this is the 17th time 30th time that they scored 4 runs in an inning this year, and that was like in end of May.
Well, correct me if I'm wrong. Has there been a game like they had that early season Cubs game last year where they came back from 8-0 down and Toddy homered twice.
Yeah.
Has there been anything like that this year? I mean, they've come back from 4 or 5, but most teams do over the course of a year. But like that really special night, not that anyone was expecting them to come back from 8-0 tonight. There was zero chance of that. But I don't know. I just feel like they need that. But I've said that before. It's like, what do you really need to get going? They've had plenty of time to get going. What are we waiting for? We're waiting for a Dodger series? You're waiting for a Tatis to get hit? You're waiting for benches to clear? All that's happened. All these things that we've been waiting for have already occurred. I mean, I just don't know what we're really waiting for.
Well, I mean, they've had a couple here. I mean, if you want to look at the game against the Giants earlier this month where they were trailing 2-0 in the 9th inning, they came back, won that game 3-2.
Was it okay? 2-0. It was the 9th they trailed 2-0.
Yeah.
Remind me of what happened. They won in 10 or they won in 9?
They won in 10, John.
Yeah, that's what I kind of remember.
In the 9th inning, you had where was it here? 9th inning, top of the 9th. Yeah, you had bases loaded, 2 outs. Manny Machado hits a game time.
Oh yeah, I remember that game. Yeah.
But as far as like coming back from like 7-0, I don't know.
Yeah, no, they haven't come back from 7 runs this year. I don't think they've come back from more than 5. Have they come back from 5? I think they've come back from 4. I don't know if they've come back from 5 this year. Maybe once in Chicago against the Cubs.
Oh yeah, it was against the Cubs that Sunday.
How much were they down? 5.
It was like the second week of the year. They were down 5. They're down 7-3.
But okay, so they're down 4.
7-3 in the second inning. So it wasn't like it was late,
Yeah, I remember that game.
Anyway, their identity is not like it was last year. It's different. That's fine. I'm not saying that they have to have the same identity as they did last season, but for last season, as good of a team they were on offense, this year they're flip-flop. They're not as good as they were last year on offense, not even close. So they have to rely on their pitching and they have to rely on their bullpen. And when they get leads, they have to hold it. And there have been a lot of times this year they haven't been able to hold the lead because they haven't been able to add on.
Yeah, that too. JD's third, thank you, man, for the super chat. Guys, if you're here, subscribe. And if you're here, thank you for the super chats. Click the $ below the chat box. He says, our identity is cap tippers. We are good at that. He didn't specifically say tip your cap, right? What did he say?
He did not say tip your cap, even though I'm glad he didn't say that. But I think he did say something along the lines of like hats off to Nick
Hats
Martinez.
off. He said hats off. That's exactly what he said. What else did he say? They had good ABs in the 9th inning. How about Jackson? Jackson's AB. I knew he would say that. I texted Jim the second Merrill reached. I know that Chilt will call this at bat out in post, and he did call out that plate appearance in post.
I said that he was going to call it the Brooksy or the Brookie or whatever. Brookie? Yeah, he did. What is it? What Brookie? Brooksy?
Brookie.
Yeah,
he was high on that 9th inning. There's no question about it.
To me, the post game from Shilk sounded like pretty defeated, and the fact that like I want to defend this team right now, but I'm not going to. So here's my best spin job, which It's not. It wasn't much. Like I was actually kind of surprised. I was surprised.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, there was this game. They were down 6-0. You were away in the first inning. At home, they came all the way back immediately and won. That's right.
Oh yeah, that's right. I remember that.
Yep.
I remember because I was in Hawaii and everyone's like, "You have to stay there."
Yeah, that was an amazing. I mean,
I need to go back to Hawaii. Is that what you're saying?
Just go to Hawaii, dude. Iron Lung, thank you. It says no identity. Manny told you so. I think he might be saying Manny. Am I missing something? Remember the Caswell interview? No? Huh? You talking about when Manny was vilified 2 years ago for I don't know what you're talking about, Iron Lung. You have to follow up. I'm not certain. There's been a lot of interviews. There's been a lot of Marty interviews. There's been a lot of Manny interviews. So follow up because we don't know what you're saying. While you do that, we do want to thank our viewers for their support of the channel. We've got a great offer for you with our friends over at SeatGeek. In fact, with SeatGeek right now for our viewers, you can take $20 off your first order of $50 or more at SeatGeek with promo code PADSWRAP. That's PODSWRAP. You heard me right. $20 off your first purchase of $50 or more with promo code PODSWRAP. Just click the link in the description to download the app, have the code automatically added to your account. You can use it later. And listen, with SeatGeek, I mean, the Padres will come home, and the Rangers are the first team here with Bochy. And you can get in for $50 with fees, and then you can take $20 off your tickets. So listen, whether it's Padres baseball or any event going on in San Diego or wherever you may be, use the promo code PADSWRAP and get $20 off your first order of $50 or more.
And SeatGeek is MLB's official ticket marketplace. Your tickets are fully guaranteed and instantly fulfilled in your account after purchase. All you have to do is use our promo code PODSWRAP, PADSWRAP, for $20 off tickets at SeatGeek.
That's right. All right. So again, Padres fall 8-1. To your point, I think it is still a good. I mean, here's the quote. Listen to this quote from Elias Diaz. Okay.
Tell me what you were, because you texted it to me and I didn't really fully get what you're trying to say. Like, okay, explain it to me.
Here's what I'm going to say. Just listen. Listen to this quote, Jim. Okay. Just close your eyes.
Okay.
All right. It's really important, more for the team than for me, Diaz said, because when someone has a no-hitter, I don't know how to explain, but it's not good.
Wait, what was the question?
It's just a quote.
Why are you so mad about it?
I'm not. I just thought it's funny that he said, when someone has a no-hitter, I don't know how to explain, but it's not good. You think it's bad.
Yeah, no shit.
It's really bad when someone has a no-hitter against you. And he broke it up. The quote was about him breaking up the no-hitter, which, by the way, was well broken up. It wasn't some softy or some cheapy, freaking nearly homered. So not like the ball should have been caught. So there's none of that. Iron Lung, thank you, man, for following up. He says, yeah, okay. Manny was asked about team philosophy or something like that. He said, what is this high school? Okay, we're going back a couple of years, and this was in a Kevin Acey UT article.
2023.
Yep. You remember, don't play. Welcome for the Supers. All right, listen, bud. I mean, relax. Our show.
Calm down.
First of all, no, we don't remember. You can't just be like, remember when Manny said something? Manny has said a lot.
I don't remember what happened. Like,
we've watched every game that Manny's played in his career. There's been a lot, in San Diego. So, no, we had no clue what you're talking about because it made no sense, your first Super. But this makes sense. I don't think because Manny was quoted as saying that in 2023 that is of particular interest right now, because I watched 2024. And in 2024, once again, Manny was really good in the second half. The team was excellent. And I don't tie that quote from 2023 to 2024, 2025, because I've watched him and I've watched the team, and there was a different manager, and I don't see the relevancy, truthfully.
Yeah, he got his clubhouse back from Juan Soto after 2023.
Yep. There you go.
I mean, that's kind of what it is. So.
Yeah, I mean, listen, did I love the quote in real time? No. Was I critical of the quote in real time? Yes. But has Manny Machado posted numbers that I'd rather have him play well than have good quotes? Would you prefer Manny was a choir boy but hit 247 with worse numbers? No, you wouldn't. You'd prefer him to be himself, even if he is polarizing, even if he rubs you the wrong way, even if he says a couple of things that irks people. Is what it is.
Right.
Exactly. You're 100% right. And think it doesn't matter, bros. He's leading this team 100%.
Mm-hmm.
And again, is he, that's for another day, probably, Jim. Is he the perfect captain? Is he the perfect leader?
No.
Okay, fair. I mean, maybe he's not. He hasn't won a World Series, and you put some of that on a guy making the money that he's making. So he's not the perfect player. Is he the best player in the sport? Jim made the point earlier. I agree with it. I don't think he is the best player in the sport. No shit. I don't think he thinks he's the best player in the sport. No. He's a good player. They need him. He's among their best players, if not their best player. So, he is leading this team for better or for worse. And most of it is for better, but he's never going to be Shohei Ohtani offensively. He's not.
No, he'll never be a top 5 offensive player in the sport. The best chance for him to ever, I think, win a MVP might have been in 2022.
He was great.
I don't know if he's ever going to be that again, because Ohtani's going to get the numbers. There's really no way to overtake Ohtani unless he's out.
Yeah, Ohtani wasn't in the NL, obviously, in 2022. So it only became a bigger hurdle. Ohtani's younger than Machado. Yeah, and
honestly, like that year, it could have gone either way. It could have gone to I know it went to Goldschmidt. Yeah, but we were arguing for Manny Machado.
Okay, it was Goldschmidt that won it. Yeah, I mean, the funny thing is, I'm not going to have this conversation because it's not warranted. Because you can't. I'm not going to compare Shohei Ohtani to Manny Machado. It's not even worth the conversation. No. Manny's a very good player, but there's other really good offensive players, obviously, in baseball as well. Hold on here, Jim, while we have a moment. Well, let's get to Richard. Thank you, Richard, for the super chat. I think that was the next one up. It was. Appreciate you, man. Dodger fan, longtime supporter of our channel, though. As an outsider looking in, these past few weeks, the Padres look flat, defense shaky, and that Profar
swagger.
Okay, is nowhere to be found. 6 through 9 is a wasteland.
Dude, what did I say at the beginning of the year about the loss of Profar? They lost.
You said it would be huge.
It would be huge. They lost the heart of the team last year. They lost kind of the rally, I guess, energy. They just lost that energy. And I said, who's going to step up and take that role? You're right, Richard. I haven't seen that. I haven't seen anybody to step up and put themselves into that Jerks and Profar role.
Yeah, it's a good point. We've made that point occasionally over the course of the year, but it's a point that is a valid one tonight on a night where
vibes, right? Listless. Vibes. Who is replacing the lost vibes of Profar? And say what you want about him, being suspended for PEDs this year. Okay, I'm talking about last year and that presence, not only in the lineup but in the clubhouse, in the dugout. That presence they lost. Who on the team has replaced that? Nobody. That presence has not been replaced. And you can kind of see it. Now, the record is better than it was last year for sure. And that's great. And I've said, just record alone, I give this team at the halfway point a solid B, because, it could have been way worse, and it's not. And they're 7 games above 500. And I think a lot of teams would take that right now. So, record alone, it's a B. But there are very concerning signs with this team that you see over a long stretch of time that you're afraid and hope it doesn't come back to bite them in the ass. Because if they continue to play like this, to continue to play the way they've been playing for the last 64 games, they are going to get to 500 quickly. And it
which
won't
isn't
be good.
Right. The goal is to get away from 500.
Right.
Let's get to some of these supers that have rolled in. JD's third says, will Muncy beat out Manny as an all-star now? Manny's on the team.
He's on the team. I don't know if he's a starter now, though.
We have no idea. But he's definitely going to be on the team. And he should be, by the way.
Look,
he should be. He is.
As much as I hate Max Muncy, I hate the guy. I hate looking at him. I hate everything about Max Muncy. Their numbers are pretty similar. It's kind of crazy how similar their numbers are.
It's crazy. They're almost identical.
Yeah.
Yep. They're almost identical. We just pulled that up. Iron Lung follows up and says, Manny leading the team was not a positive, you guys. Well, you want to have what do you want to do? Go back and, he's going to go down as one of the greatest offensive players in the history of the franchise. So what do we want to do?
Right.
What do you want to do? That's a whole nother. Listen, Manny's going to, He's going to have 10, 15 years here. The numbers are going to look good. So if
tired to
you
have
want
that
to say the team
conversation
sucks
tonight.
because of Manny Machado, fine. LLM213 Jim says, do you trade Cease? No.
Nope.
No. You chase this thing down. And Cease doesn't even have the same value today as a rental as he had a year ago today. You know what I mean? So no, I'm not trading Dylan Cease. I mean, the wheels would have to completely fall off. There's no reason to trade Dylan Cease, especially when you're dealing with injuries to guys like King and Darvish. No, you
They would need
hope
to
that
be like
Dylan Cease returns.
Like if they're like 5 to 10 games under 500 at the deadline, then I'm screaming from the top of the building to trade Dylan Cease. But
that's almost impossible.
It's possible, but yeah, just because
unlikely
to happen. Very unlikely. You're right. Anything's possible, but that's unlikely.
Yeah. Oh, I thought you were continuing that point.
No, no point.
No, I agree with you. Guys, Underdog Fantasy, listen, best and easiest place to play fantasy sports. Couldn't be easier, couldn't be simpler. Use the promo code PODSWRAP, PADSWRAP. You're going to get that 50% deposit match. You're also going to get a free gimme pick. So what does a free gimme pick look like? Let's explain. You're not going to see it in here, but I can explain. So as opposed to saying Ellie De La Cruz higher or lower than a half home run, it'll say higher or lower than a half plate appearance, which means all he has to do is come to the plate and you win. So they give you a pick 'em. But then in addition to that, it couldn't be simpler or easier to win. Like you just choose higher or lower. So let's say Toddy homers tomorrow. And let's say Ellie homers tomorrow, because why not? And let's say the Padres beat up Andrew Abbott. Let's just say they beat him up, even though he's got his 1.71 ERA. Okay. They're going to beat him
4
up.
home runs.
They're going to beat him up. If those things happen tomorrow, okay, listen to me. Toddy homers, Ellie homers, and the Padres beat up Andrew Abbott. All he has to do is allow 5 runs. Then your $10 wager is going to pay $504. Now, I don't know what this is.
Okay.
So, I mean, that's how simple and easy it is to win. Now, hold on. It asked me your picks must be from at least 2 different teams. They are. So let me include Tatis. Your Abbott pick is impacting the selection. Okay. Well, here's Randy Vasquez as well. So I include Vasquez in there. You can win $1,000. The point is it couldn't be simpler or easier. Click the link in the description down below. Use the promo code PADSWRAP. You get the 50% deposit match and the free gimme pick.
Yeah, download the Underdog Fantasy app. Scan the QR code above my head. Use our promo code PODSWRAP, PADSWRAP, once you sign up to start playing.
And I think Paige Becker scores 18 points Saturday, don't you?
I like some Paige Beckers in there.
I like Paige. I do as well. All right, let's get to a couple of these super chats that are rolling in. Guys, subscribe and thank you for the super chats. Click the $sign below the chat box. Padres fall 8-1. They were no hit through 8. They settle for 1 hit and 1 run. In the end, Isaac says Profar had that VAR, as we've talked about before. Divine Sports Gospel, shout out. Vibes above replacement. It's true.
Yeah, the vibes seem low with this team. Do they not?
Yeah, they do.
Yeah,
I don't know who that guy is. Like, who is that guy if things are rolling? Is it Merrill? Who is that guy right now if they were playing well? You know, they've won 4 or 5.
I honestly don't know. I know Jose Iglesias has a
new single.
Yeah, a new hot single coming out. He's got some vibes above replacement in him, but the problem is he doesn't play all the time.
Right.
And he's not having a great season. I think T Wade. I think your boy T Wade has some vibes above placement in him, but he's a scrub.
Yeah, JD's third says, "Will Roberts bench Manny at the All-Star game?" No, because nobody cares about that's no. They'll just deal with whatever they deal with. Manny will play in the All-Star game.
Yeah.
JD Gaucho. Okay, we're going to go off the cuff here, Jim. Aniwa Tate Jones is going to play in the Summer League with the Raptors. Now, does anyone know who Aniwa Tate Jones is?
I do,
and Jim actually does. What'd you say?
So I just yawned thinking about the Raptors.
He played at UC San Diego and is a very good player. So congratulations to Aniwa Tate Jones, who has signed on with the Toronto Raptors to play in Vegas this July in the Summer League.
Congratulations. That's awesome.
Congratulations, Aniwa. Did you think Aniwa Tate Jones would make tonight's wrap-up show and the Padres are nearly no hit?
If you were to say bet on it, I would have bet $100 million on it that we would not talk about him. Unfortunately, I would have lost that bet.
Right.
So,
all right, let's do this again on Sunday night.
okay.
Because there's really nothing to say other than it wasn't a good night. And that's putting it lightly. But they can still win the series. They've done it their last 2 series. We'll see how they play the next 2 days. It won't be easy. I know that. But they could still win the series. They could lose the series. So we'll find out. We'll react to it all Sunday night at 9:30. All right. Make sure to subscribe to this channel. We have year-round content for you. Smash the like button for us. Follow us on X at John Schaefer, at Jim Russell SD. If you're here on replay, not really. I mean, it's been an hour.
We do like an hour to hour 10 every night.
Yeah, I mean, not particularly. Hey, listen, if they play better, it would be longer. If they won 8-1 and no hit the Reds, it probably would be a better
If they
show.
came back in the 9th inning and won 9-8, then we would talk for a while.
Yeah, I mean, we also did a 4-hour radio show today. Yes. What else is there to talk about?
Nothing.
Truthfully. Support our partners, Mark Nimitz at Farmers Insurance, our friends at Humul Casino, Mova Globe, SeatGeek, and Underdog Fantasy. And we will see you all, hopefully with a better night to react to on Sunday night. Padres fall 8-1 in Cincinnati. This has been the wrap-up show. Peace.